anytime, anywhere. On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere. On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere.
Our journeys through education take many routes from our early years to university. Academic Crossroads is here to explore key elements to help equip you along the way. So join us and our special guests as we also discuss the expected and unexpected paths, including all the challenges and triumphs while gathering your academic top tips.
This is Academic Crossroads with your host, Dr. Leanne J. Adeyemi.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Academic Crossroads here, live from the studio on Fire Radio. Thank you all for tuning in. Oh, there's a lot of people this evening. We are starting a little later, but we have got a show that is going to be a live Q&A, short and sweet for you. So if you have any questions, please do drop them in the comments and we will get through them as the show continues. So for the past few weeks, we have been focusing on setting goals, looking at how we can do them, making sure that we do them in a way that is productive and in a way that we are actually able to meet them, right? And that they're achievable. You know, we're still going for, we have high ambitions. We are still going for ambitious goals, but we still need to make sure that we are putting steps in place to make them achievable. Now, as we shift out of the first month of the year. Happy February, everybody. Happy February. And I will be back with you in just one moment. Please share the link out and drop your questions in the comments section.
On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere.
Oh, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on On Fire Radio for Academic Crossroads. So, Goodness, you have asked, do you have any advice for those who are in year 9 and are picking GCSEs? Now, I remember this time, I actually remember picking my GCSEs as well. It was a time you were trying to find out what your friends were doing. There were discussions around like, okay, but what do I need to do because I want to go and do this in the future, things like that. There was like what your parents understood as, okay, this is a preference, or this will really help you go forward. Then you had things from your teachers as well. Your teachers are trying to guide and direct you. So there is a lot of things to think about when you are thinking about your GCSEs. So Excellence Academy teachers, if you're online as well, we would love to hear from you for this particular question as well. But in terms of picking your GCSEs in year 9, one of the main things is actually thinking about where do you want to go and what do you want to do. Now, whilst maybe like university seems a bit far, and you know you've got to get through GCSEs first and you've got to get through A levels first, or whatever form of studying you're going to do before then, it will help guide and direct your learning. So if you know there are a few different courses that you would like to do, then one thing I would say is make sure that you go and check out the entry requirements. Do they require you to have specific GCSEs in specific fields? Now, I know once you get to university, a lot of universities focus on your English, your maths, and then some, depending on your degree, your science. And there's on the things like that. So just check if there's any specific things that you will need to actually have studied at GCSE. And the same goes for your A-levels. If you want to do specific A-levels, or you have an idea of what types of courses you would like to do for your A-levels or your BTECs, then just check what GCSEs you will need in order for you to go down that route, in order for you to actually go and study that for A-level or a BTEC, or even if it's an apprenticeship that you are looking at as well. So have a look into the future. Go and look online. There's a lot of information on university websites. If you are staying at your school, and even if you're not, you can speak to your teachers at your school and in the sixth form, because they're very separate. So just head over to the sixth form, ask, go and speak to them and see what information you can get with regards to what would I need to study at my GCSEs in order to take courses X, Y, and Z. So have a look into the future and think about the things that you will need to do. Also, some of the practical things as well. What are you good at? What are you good at, and what subjects do you enjoy? Now, it's not always about doing the things that you find easy. Okay, there is more to it than that. It is definitely not about having the things or taking the subjects that you think are, oh yeah, I'm really good at this. This is easy, so let me go and do it. But practically, you're going to have to study all of these different subjects, and everyone's aiming for good grades, right? everyone's aiming for good grades and for doing the best that they can. So making sure that you have a nice balance as well of things that you're good at, things you enjoy, and whilst also thinking about the future. So Sib, you've said definitely agree. The more information you acquire, the better. For example, if you are going for essay-based subjects, will it help? If you're going for practical subjects, will it help? And also what you can gain from it. So that's something that's really important as well, knowing what it requires. knowing what the subjects will require, knowing your assessment, what will your assessments be like? Is it going to be all coursework? Is it going to be a mixture of coursework and exams? And those exams may be written exams or practical exams. So these are the types of things that you need to make sure you take into consideration as well. And I know sometimes when we're thinking about our GCSEs, whilst we're thinking about our futures, and whilst we're also considering the things like, do we enjoy the subject? You know, what are we good at? Sometimes there's also that element of asking your friends, oh, what are you going to do? Oh, what are you going to do? You're thinking about, oh, okay, are we going to be in the same classes? All of that kind of stuff. Yeah, we can help each other with our essays. And whilst it's nice, it sounds good. Honestly, this is a step that you are going to take in your life that is going to help guide and steer you for the next pivotal steps as well. And so whilst it sounds nice at the time, whilst you might, you enjoy being in class with your friends at the moment, if friends have a heavy influence on your choices and they're maybe picking subjects that you don't even like, or maybe they're picking subjects that you're not interested in, or it's stuff that's not where you're particularly excelling, or it may even have nothing to do with where you want to go, I'd highly advise you not to pick those subjects. You have to, you're going to be learning all of these subjects in quite a good enough depth that you are going to need focus, you're going to need determination, because there's not always going to be that motivation to finish, right? And so actually, when you have that end goal in mind, so like we were saying over the past few weeks about setting your goals and things like that, like why are you doing this? Like maybe you've picked a particular subject, maybe you've picked biology because actually you want to go on to be a doctor, or you want to be a nurse or a dentist, or you might want to be a physiotherapist. And so there's a reason for you actually attaining that knowledge, even if it may seem like, oh, it's just my GCSEs, I'm just doing it now, I'm still quite young, I'll have the time to do it. The more knowledge and information you learn and acquire now, the better and easier things down the line will be. I've stressed so much on like making sure that you don't just use your first year as like the full practice run, but actually once you attain those foundational things and that foundational knowledge, then it's so much easier to build on that. And it is exactly the same if you do that at your GCSEs and for your GCSEs, then the steps that you take and the information that you acquire later can just build on an already solid foundation within that. So Anesu, you said don't choose what you think is easy. I chose photography for A-level thinking it was an easy A, and it humbled me real quick. Anesu, why? So did you choose it just because you thought it was easy, or it was something that you thought like, oh, it would be nice? But also, you're picking your GCSEs, and whilst I'm saying that you need to find out what your A-levels are about, you need to find out, what you need for when you're going to uni. It's important to know what the GCSE entails. What does it require from you? What are your lessons going to be like? What topics will you be covering? What your examinations will be like? So all of these things are what you also need to know, even at your A-levels, because it might be that you have to go and do some research somewhere. I remember it was more A-levels, but we had to like count how many, I can't remember what it was called now, but we had to like pick a patch of grass, because I did geography. Pick a patch of grass, and then, no, it was GCSEs, I think. Anyway, picked a patch of grass, and we had to like count the buttercups and do all of this kind of stuff. But that, I didn't think I'd be doing that. I did not know that is specifically what was going to be required of me for that course. So make sure you check and you know what is required of you. And if you're in year 9, you could maybe ask some of the older students as well in your school, like what is the course about and what you're going to study. How will it change as well from what you're studying now? Because sometimes we think, oh yeah, we'll just flow on to the next stage. But actually things can change quite drastically. And so just to make yourself aware and make sure you know what it is that will be required of you. Steph, you said, oh, I remember everyone crying when they didn't get into the same class as their friends. Do they even talk now? That's another thing, because sometimes it can feel so like you just want to be with all your friends. You know, it was fun going from year 7, year 8 and year 9. And then all of the classes get split up, because you have to also remember that everyone is picking different subjects. So even if maybe the route or the combination of subjects, if there are some subjects that are in more than one combination, then there's no guarantee that you're going to be in the same class as them anyway. So make sure you're picking these subjects for you. Okay. And so Sib, you said, last but not least, you promise, make use of the community you're in as well, your aunts and uncles. Yes, definitely. Make sure, ask around. If you know people in the field, go and speak to them. Find out what they did for their GCSEs. Go and find out, what was required. If you know any teachers, if you know anyone in like a sixth form teacher and anything like that, go and speak to them. I'm sure people are more than happy to discuss these things with you. Sib, you said my mum thought it was a joke. So we're talking about the photography A-level, the amount of effort I had to put in. So don't assume things are an easy A, okay? Don't assume that. And so Danny, you said, if you are unsure of what you want to do in uni or path you want to take, maybe look at doing some work experience so you have a rough idea of what sort of path you want to do. I wanted to do law at one point, so I went and done some work experience at a law firm for 2 weeks. It changed my mind real quick. So dive into the real world, find out what people in those professions do. Go and do work experience. Thank you, Danny, for that. Go and do work experience. Find out what it is. Don't just assume that because you've watched something on TV. I remember I used to watch like CSI and Law and Order and all of those things. I really wanted to be a forensic scientist. But that's not real life. The job is not like that 24/7, So make sure that you go and find out what it is like in real life. So unless you said, I thought it would take a couple of pictures in focus and be done with it. Unless it comes with work. Good evening, Marpe. Thank you for joining us. We are speaking about GCSEs and advice that we have for those that are picking their GCSEs at the moment. So Steph, you're agreeing with Danny, and Caroline, you too. Great advice, Danny. That was the same with me and accounting. So don't get caught up. Sometimes we get caught up in the numbers that we think will flow into our account. But you have to work for those numbers, right? So make sure it is what you should be doing. So Steph, you said everyone who picks geography because of the trip to the beach. We didn't end up in a beach. We ended up in a field, and I think there was like a farm or something. So the smell, everything was not what any of us were expecting. Ben, you've said, if you're really unsure of what to do, there are loads of decision makers online that ask you loads of questions and give you a load of subjects/careers to choose from. Yeah, so that's one other thing that you can do to gain insight as well. And I think with a lot of you, if you are in your school, then your school will have ones that they would recommend as well. But you can basically put information in and you ask questions, and it's like a search generator or something like that. I don't know what to refer to it as, but it will just give you an idea of like what you seem interested in and things like that, and then that is somewhere that you can go from. And also speaking with your teachers directly as well can really help. So Steph, they had to count plants. So whether you're at the beach or you're in grass on a farm, you're counting plants. And you said, whereas history, you can go to Auschwitz and some other quite historical places as well. I know that people went to. So wait, Shay, you're saying, what's that to? That's actually what I did at college, forensic science. Yeah, so just making sure you're aware of what is really going on in the field. And Marpe, another one that I wanted to do an accounting because you thought you could get rich quick, until I realized you actually have to do maths. So it's not always about the money, guys. It's definitely not always about the money. And there is hard work that goes into getting that as well. So yeah, just be conscious of what you're required to do now, the steps and the difference of now and when you're actually doing the GCSE. So find out from your teachers, find out from those that are doing the courses already. That is one part of it. Then the other part of it is looking forward, looking to the future. So for A-levels, if you're going to university or doing an apprenticeship or something like that, what courses would you need to have done in order for you to get onto that course? And then also thinking about those that are in the field already, go and ask somebody. I'm sure that look and reach out into your communities, whether it's at school, whether it's at your church, wherever you may have your different communities, then make sure you go and ask someone. And also, above just asking as well, take that step further and go and get some work experience where possible, so you can see if that is something that you truly want to do. Now, for GCSEs, a lot of the subjects are quite interchangeable, and by interchangeable I mean that you do your English, maths, your science, then generally you may do like a geography or history course, and then you might do like French or German or Spanish, something like that. And then you've got like PE, religious studies, you've got food tech, like design, technology, IT based courses. So for some of them, they are quite foundational and can actually link into so many different courses when you are at A-level as well. So even if you've already made your choices, and even if you've already done those things and selected your options, then I would still advise you to make sure you just investigate, have a look into the area that you're looking to go into, have a look into the field, try and get work experience, still try and speak to those that are in the field already, because it will just give you more insight into what it is that you're looking to go into. And you won't have this, you won't have this like fake view from TV of what the work is going to be like when you get there. But Shay, you said exactly why we need to do our research before making such decisions. So if you haven't chosen yet, try and get all the information you can before deadline dates. I know deadline dates are coming up over the next few months, and so really make that a priority for you. And if you are a parent and you're listening, then also make it a priority for yourself to find out, what your child what are they interested in? What do they think they would want to do? And then try and get all the information you can. If you have friends, colleagues that are working in those types of fields or those areas, then please let us transfer and give our young people the opportunity to truly excel and not be limited by the information that we have. So, unfortunately, it is 20 to 8, and our time here on Academic Crossroads is up for this evening. So it has been a short and sweet one, but thank you so much to everybody for your comments. Thank you, goodness, for your initial question. It took us down some routes, down some memories as well. So thank you all so much for your contributions. Now, the link is going to go off. However, Youth Beat have got some amazing stuff in store for you. If you know the name of the show today, From Flings to Rings, episode 1, I believe, as well. So make sure you stay tuned. The link is going to go down, but a fresh link will come up. So make sure you stay on the channel and keep an eye out for the link. But I'm telling you, Youth Beat have got something sweet for you today. So stay tuned. Make sure you stay locked in here on Fire Radio. I have been your host, Dr. Leanne J, and thank you for tuning into our live Q&A on Academic Crossroads. I will see you same time, same place next week here on Fire Radio. Make sure you stay tuned. Youth Beat is up next.
You have been listening to Academic Crossroads. Join us same time next week for more academic top tips with your host, Dr. Leanne J. Adeyemi. On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere. On Fire Radio.
Fire burning in my soul.
Anytime, anywhere.
Fire burning in my soul.
Anywhere. On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere.